As a cool autumn breeze swept through the bustling streets of Manhattan, I found myself lost in thought at my desk on the 32nd floor of our corporate office. At 35, I had worked my way up to become the senior marketing director at one of New York's top advertising firms. The city lights twinkled outside my window as I finished up another late-night presentation. A decade of dedication had built my reputation in the industry, but sometimes I wondered if success was worth the loneliness it brought. The advertising industry had taught me that timing was everything. When I first arrived in New York 15 years ago, fresh from my small hometown in Connecticut, I had learned that lesson the hard way. Back then, I was one of countless eager graduates clutching their portfolios and dreams. The city had a way of either making you or breaking you. My phone buzzed with a message from Rachel, my best friend since our college days at NYU. Looking at the time, 9:47 p.m., I realized I'd lost track of time again.
Still at the office? Don't tell me you forgot about dinner.
I quickly gathered my things, feeling guilty about making Rachel wait. She had been my rock through every up and down since freshman year. So sorry. Lost track of time with the Johnson campaign. On my way to Giovanni's now. As I hurried through the quiet office, my heels clicking against the marble floor, I couldn't shake the feeling that Rachel was up to something. She had been oddly insistent about meeting tonight. The elevator ride down gave me time to check my appearance in the mirrored walls. My dark brown hair was still neat despite the long day, though the slight shadows under my eyes told the story of too many late nights at the office. 20 minutes later, I walked into Giovanni's, our favorite Italian restaurant in the West Village. The warm, familiar scent of garlic and fresh bread brought back memories of countless girls' nights and celebration dinners.
Kate, over here.
Rachel waved from our usual corner booth, her bright smile hiding something I couldn't quite read. As I approached, I noticed she wasn't alone. A man I'd never seen before stood up as I reached the table. He was tall, well-dressed, and had a confident smile that immediately put me on guard.
Kate, I want you to meet Michael. He's the CFO at my company, and I just know you two will hit it off.
My heart sank as I realized this was another of Rachel's matchmaking attempts. After my last relationship ended badly 2 years ago, she had made it her mission to find me the perfect match. Rachel, you promised no more surprise setups. I tried to keep my voice light, but there was an edge of frustration I couldn't quite hide. I hope I'm not interrupting ladies' night. Rachel speaks so highly of you, Catherine. Please join us. His voice was smooth, practiced, the kind that could convince investors to part with millions. I hesitated for a moment, then slid into the booth across from them.
Kate's just being modest. Did you know she single-handedly landed the biggest account in her firm's history last month?
I shot Rachel a warning look. She knew I hated being put on display like this. The Morrison Group campaign? That was you? I was impressed by the strategy. Something in his tone made me look up. His dark eyes held genuine interest, not just polite conversation. Yes, though it was definitely a team effort. The creative department deserves most of the credit. Always deflecting praise. Rachel said you do that. How about we order some wine and you tell me the real story? Despite my initial reluctance, I found myself warming to his direct approach. The conversation flowed easily as we shared stories about the cutthroat world of Manhattan business. 3 hours later, I was surprised to find I'd actually enjoyed myself. Michael was intelligent, witty, and seemed to understand the demands of a high-powered career.
Look at the time. I should head home. Early meeting tomorrow. You two stay and enjoy dessert.
Rachel's innocent expression fooled no one as she gathered her things. I knew this had been her plan all along. I know a great place for gelato just around the corner, if you're interested. I should have said no. My usual caution screamed at me to make an excuse and leave. But something made me hesitate. Lead the way. As we walked through the cooling night air, Michael told me about growing up in Boston, his move to New York 5 years ago, and his passion for classical music. He seemed too good to be true. That evening marked the beginning of what seemed like a perfect romance. Over the next few months, Michael and I fell into an easy rhythm of dinner dates, weekend brunches, and long walks through Central Park. But looking back, I should have noticed the small warning signs. The way he always insisted on choosing the restaurant. How he subtly criticized my work hours. The occasional comments about my spending habits. It started with my American Express Platinum card. I had left my wallet on the kitchen counter while getting ready for work. "Hey, I borrowed your Amex for a quick business lunch. Hope that's okay." The text came just as I was heading into an important client meeting. I felt a twinge of unease but pushed it aside. That evening, I checked my account and found charges for not just lunch, but also designer clothing and high-end electronics. When I confronted him, his response left me cold. "Come on, Catherine. We're practically living together. What's mine is yours, right? Besides, you make more than enough to cover it." I stared at him, struggling to recognize the charming man I thought I knew. The charges totaled over $5,000. "That's not the point, Michael. You took my card without permission. That's theft." "Theft? Don't be dramatic. I'm your boyfriend, not some criminal. You're acting like your trust issues are my problem." He walked out that night, taking my card with him. Hours later, my phone buzzed with alerts about charges at exclusive clubs and restaurants. I sat in my darkened apartment, anger slowly replacing hurt. The designer suits, the expensive watch, the lavish lifestyle. Had it all been a facade?
Kate? Are you okay? Michael just posted photos from Lebain with some models.
"Rachel, I can't believe I let this happen. He took my platinum card and he's out there spending like there's no tomorrow."
Oh my God, Kate, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I never thought. Should we call the police?
I took a deep breath, my business strategist mind already working through the possibilities. No, not yet. I have a better idea. The next morning, I received another alert. Michael had checked into the St. Regis Hotel, charging everything to my card. "Having a great time at the St. Regis. Thanks for being so understanding, darling." His smug text made my blood boil. But instead of responding, I called my bank's Platinum Concierge service. "I need to verify some recent charges and discuss your high spender protection services."
Of course, Ms. Morrison. I see several large transactions in the past 24 hours. Would you like me to review them with you?
Actually, I'd like to know what happens when someone reports their card stolen. Not immediately, but after letting the thief rack up charges at luxury establishments.
Well, once reported, all privileges would be immediately revoked. At high-end venues, this can be quite embarrassing for unauthorized users.
I could hear the understanding in her voice. She'd probably dealt with similar situations before. I spent the next 2 days tracking Michael's spending spree through my banking app. Lebain, 11 Madison Park, Gucci on 5th Avenue. He was living his best life on my credit. By the third day, my plan was ready. I knew Michael's pattern now. Morning spa treatments, expensive lunches, afternoon shopping, and evenings at exclusive clubs. I waited until I saw the charge appear for his reservation at Per Se, one of New York's most prestigious restaurants. He was trying to impress a group of so-called business associates. It's time.
Are you sure about this? Not that he doesn't deserve it, but
trust me, I've calculated the timing perfectly. I called the credit card company's fraud department, my voice steady and professional. "Yes, I need to report unauthorized use of my card. The charges started 3 days ago. I see several large transactions, Ms. Morrison. We'll begin fraud proceedings immediately. Would you like us to contact law enforcement? Not yet. Just cancel the card and decline any pending charges. I could picture the scene unfolding at per se. Michael, surrounded by his new friends, probably bragging about his financial success. Catherine, what did you do? I'm in the middle of dinner and your card, was just declined. His panicked text brought a smile to my face. I imagined him trying to explain to his companions why the card had been declined. Oh, did the card stop working? How embarrassing for you. By the way, unauthorized use of a credit card is fraud, Michael. Have a lovely evening. The next few hours brought a flood of increasingly desperate messages from Michael. You can't do this to me. I have people to impress here. Catherine, please. The hotel is threatening to call security. I sat in my apartment, sipping a glass of wine, watching his carefully constructed facade crumble.
Kate, you have to see this. He's been kicked out of the St. Regis. Someone posted a video.
The security footage showed Michael arguing with hotel staff in the lobby, his designer luggage scattered around him. His face was red with anger and embarrassment. This is all a misunderstanding. I'm dating Catherine Morrison. You know, the marketing director? Call her. Sir, Miss Morrison has confirmed that you are not authorized to use her card. You need to leave the premises immediately, or we'll have to involve the authorities. In our industry, appearances meant everything, until they didn't. The facade of success could be both a shield and a trap. Walking through our agency's creative department a week later, I overheard whispers about Michael's latest venture. Apparently, he'd tried the same scheme with another executive at a different firm.
Catherine, have you seen this? He's being investigated by the SEC now.
The news article detailed allegations of financial misconduct stretching back years. I felt a mixture of vindication and sadness.
Don't tell me you're feeling sorry for him.
No, I am realizing how easily we can mistake confidence for competence, charm for character. My team was preparing for the biggest pitch of the year, a global beauty brand that could transform our agency. The irony of selling authenticity in a world of carefully crafted images wasn't lost on me.
The creative team's nervous about the pitch. They say the client's impossible to please.
Tell them that's exactly why they hired us. We don't sell perfection anymore. We sell real stories. Later that evening, as I reviewed the pitch deck in my office, Rachel stopped by with takeout from our favorite Thai place.
You're not still working on the beauty campaign? It's past 9, Kate.
Just making some final adjustments. This campaign is different. It's about embracing imperfection, about being real. The next morning, I stood before the client team, my presentation ready. But instead of our usual polished pitch, I started with a story. Last year, I learned the hard way that appearances can be deceiving. That sometimes the most beautiful packaging hides the ugliest truths. The room fell silent as I shared a version of my experience, weaving it into our campaign message about authentic beauty and real strength. This is different, refreshing. Tell us more. We won the beauty account that day, the largest in the agency's history. But the real victory wasn't in the contract numbers. 1 month later, I stood on stage at the National Advertising Awards, accepting the Innovation in Marketing Award for our authenticity campaign. Success isn't about perfection, I said into the microphone. It's about being brave enough to show your true self to the world. In the audience, I saw Rachel wiping away tears. She'd been there through everything. The triumphs, the heartbreaks, the transformations. Later that night, at the after party, a familiar face approached me at the bar. It was Michael, looking considerably less polished than before. Catherine, congratulations on the award. I saw your speech. Thank you, Michael. I hope you're doing well. and I meant it. His deception had led me to my greatest professional achievement and personal growth. I'm getting help for my issues with money and honesty. Your actions that night at Persa, they were a wake-up call. I'm glad you're getting help, Michael. Sometimes our worst moments can lead to our best changes. As he walked away, Rachel appeared at my side, protectively watching his departure.
Are you okay? I saw him talking to you.
You know what? I really am. For the first time, I feel completely free of that whole chapter. The next morning, I made a decision that surprised even me. I started a mentorship program at our agency specifically focused on helping young professionals navigate both career and personal challenges.
But why focus on personal growth in a professional setting?
Because they're inseparable. Every personal challenge shapes our professional decisions, and every professional triumph affects our personal growth. 6 months later, our mentorship program had become a model for other agencies. The story of how a fraudulent romance led to professional innovation became a case study in turning setbacks into comebacks. One evening, as I watched the sunset from my office, Rachel brought in a small cake with a candle.
Happy 1-year anniversary of your greatest revenge, which turned into your greatest success.
You know what the best revenge really is? Living well and helping others do the same. As we shared the cake and laughed about how far we'd come, I realized that success wasn't about avoiding betrayal or protecting yourself from hurt. It was about learning, growing, and becoming stronger through every experience. My office had become something of a safe haven for young professionals seeking advice. The view of Manhattan's skyline served as a backdrop for countless conversations about career growth, personal challenges, and life's unexpected turns. The lesson I'd learned from Michael had transformed not just my personal life, but my professional approach too. Authenticity wasn't just a buzzword. It was a survival strategy. Looking back at that tumultuous year, I realized how much my career had shaped my response to betrayal. 20 years in the cutthroat world of advertising had taught me patience and strategy. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about growing stronger and wiser from the experience.